How we doing, my livers? It is good to see y'all. I know it has been quite a minute. My hair is probably chopped. Fortunately, it kind of sucks. Let me see if I can fix that. No, it's chopped. Whatever. Well, really, I've been off of uploading for quite a while. I don't know what it is. Well, it feels like quite a while. I don't know. My time perception is always so warped during the summer. I don't know if you all can relate to that, but no, today my weather, at least in the place I'm living, has been just something else. Let me tell you, it has been a whole new world of confusing, and quite frankly, I'm not really for it. Kind of been annoying me, but you know, honestly, it's not gonna get me down. Life is great. So what's up, my livers? What's up, my livers? However you prefer it. I hope I caught you doing well. If not, I'll try to make that a little bit better. So today's piece of advice, I think, would be to reflect, you know? And I mean, I try to do that a lot, but sometimes I don't know, there's a very specific way in which I have to reflect for it to be proper for me, or for it to seem right. Because when you reflect upon your actions, at least in my case, I find that sometimes I reflect improperly, or I don't do something justice, and that really is not, that's bad. That's not good, because then I might be creating a bigoted view. I might be unfairly, you know, antagonizing somebody else, or I might be thinking something else, and getting back in a state that I am now, where I feel completely normal and completely like myself again. I think more than ever, especially heading to the gym now, it's going to be vitally important for me to regain my sense of what it is to be me, regain my sense of self, regain my everything, and fully champion it. Because I think I've mostly gone through the first stage, and the last thing I feel that I need to actually do is implement it effectively and consistently. Basically just keep up with my routine, keep up with the promises I make, keep up with everything. And when I fail, don't beat myself up about it, but just saying that when I fail, I also try to reflect on that and say, well, don't open up that negative language, because at least for me, very specifically for me, the meaning behind words and terminology and things of that sort, I take it very literally. I think that comes in part with just having ADHD. It's kind of difficult sometimes for me to determine whether somebody's being genuine, or if they're actually making fun of me, or what something might mean. I've always struggled with that, and it sucks, but yeah, no, just I'm trying not to let that lapse into my points of views currently, so that when I think, or when I try to improve, or when I try to grow, I'm not ending up thinking in a wrong mindset. Because whenever I'm thinking with this regularly, as I think, I've learned that there's multiple different kind of trains of thought that I can go down, and how I feel during those times can significantly alter the message that I receive. And a lot of the time, that message can be very, very poor, very bad. It can be an assortment of things, none of which, like zero of which, are a good thing. And that is, for me, again, that is a very, very big struggle. It might be easier for some of you, but you know, I said the other day I was going to try to talk lower and a little bit quieter to make and enunciate more. So just now that I'm just remembering this, I'll try to work on that. It's also not because I want my voice to sound cool. I don't really care. I mean, obviously I want to make my voice sound nice. I mean, who doesn't? But it's purely for a viewing experience. Yeah, I mean, overall, for the last couple of days, my life has gone back to a place of happiness and joy that is consistent. But one thing that I tend to do is I get complacent, and I forget to remind myself how I got there, and I just write it out. And I usually have a lot of improvements and a lot of other things, but I start slipping on ideologies I hold firm, or I start doing an assortment of things that are very negative, and that I personally don't want to be doing. And I don't know, it's just something that I, at least for me personally, I feel that I need to work on, and that I can really apply myself into one given thing. It's just something that I've kind of always been able to do. I'm able to hyper focus, I'm able to obsess over something, and then that kind of lapses over into I'm looking chopped today, and I don't quite know why, but it's whatever. My appearance isn't going to dictate my upload schedule. I should let that person go. Well, anyways, yes, I am off to the gym as per usual. You might see an upload coming back, as has almost become customary at this point, but again, I'm never gonna promise that. My upload schedule is hopefully once a day, and then slowly over time, as I get more and more accustomed to this real persona of mine, I either create another channel or something else where it's more for that hype factor and whatnot and blah blah blah. And that's kind of just how I'm gonna take the content along, and we'll see where it goes. But basically just count on this, and then occasionally other uploads in different areas and different fields, so this doesn't grow stagnant. And luckily this is the type of thing where, as I grow and as I learn and as I have things to talk about, it naturally creates more hype for the channel, and it creates a better space for content. So at this point I'm kind of just yapping. So I'll cut myself off before I get to that point, because I want to talk about valuable things, which is, again, what I'm essentially mentioning here is I can think deeply about any one given thing. It's very easy for me to do. In fact, I unintentionally lapse into things, and when I dive down into one of my many rabbit holes that I do with ADHD, which is basically just this philosophy, or what am I doing with my life, and 1,000 other things in that kind of in that sense, what tends to happen is I get absorbed into the most random thing, and I want to learn how to control that, to isolate that into something that I think holds more value than something I view that has less value. Now, my application of value is going to be very different from probably anybody else's, or maybe it's similar, variety of things, but what I hold as good and bad, my morality, my values, are not yours. I just try to impart a little bit of wisdom that I've generally found that has worked for me. And one thing I should really have already mentioned by now is that what doesn't work, I don't want you guys to take or to try and implement into your lives. I'd actually very much appreciate it if you questioned me and thought about things yourselves. And again, that thing I was talking about the other day, the Legion, where on Instagram, your brain rot scrolling, at least have a thought about it. And I've been failing at that myself, but I'm working on it. And to me, working on it isn't even enough, because working on it should yield a result, and that is yet to happen. And just thinking that I'm going to do something or having the desire to doesn't necessarily mean that it will happen, particularly in my case. So until I achieve a result, I won't BS you guys. I won't lie. I won't say that I'm doing a thing that I'm not. But other times I've been genuine with that, but this is just one of those times where I catch myself early saying something stupid. Yeah, that's what kind of what I mean by retrospection or introspection, or whatever term I said. Where, especially in moment stuff like this, when I'm actually thinking, it really helps. Dude, I look zooted. I've never touched a drug in my life. What is going on? Probably just tired. Now that I mention that, yeah, I am tired, but work out all the same because I have to. Now, I don't have to, but I really, really, really want to, and I can always just choose to the level at which I push myself, as long as I know I'm being healthy, I'm staying within my balance, and I'm growing. So that's also all that really matters to me, is that growth is occurring in some kind of a sense when something is going on. Yeah. So again, just kind of yapping, there's a point I want to get to, because I like having these yaps where it's like a lesson each day, but I usually get absorbed too far into that, and this is something I should be doing on my own time, because that isn't the content I necessarily want to keep to put out. It was more at the start I wanted that, where I had this incredibly genuine tone, and I want to keep that throughout my content and through my life. And I want to change the space of content, at least personally, to you are showing your most unbridled and genuine self. And if I'm not willing to put that in front of a camera, then I shouldn't be willing to put up with that myself. It's a way of keeping myself accountable. And I understand it might bring about some weird situations or some weird things, but I'm the type of person that tends to really adapt to the situation I'm in, the environment that I'm in, and everything else. I don't mask who I am as a person. I don't change who I am as a person. I just really, I can change my style of communication. I can change my approach to things, and a whole assortment of other things, while still remaining as me, or at least I feel that. That is what I feel. I feel that it is healthy. But again, this is all just me. So getting past all of the points that I'm basically just ranting about. I don't want to just rant. Markiplier, for example, I've been watching him recently, doesn't just rant. It's not unstructured. It's not something stupid where it's just him saying anything. Maybe at some point during the video that side of him flows out, but it's not the whole video. And I want to take that. I want to create entertaining content. And I know this isn't as entertaining. This is more just keeping myself accountable, and more than anything, it's basically just that. Yeah, it's just to keep myself against my own spectrum, my own beliefs, and just have this as my very first content was utterly genuine and utterly myself. And I want to promote a good message at the start, and I want that to continue, and I want to be able to come back to these, and I want to have these thoughts laid out so that I can see my growth, because I know these thoughts aren't completed. They never are. They never will be. They'll continue to grow alongside me. But yes, if I were to summarize all that I've just said, which I should really start doing, is growth to me is vitally important, and growth can mean a lot of different things, and I have a lot of different definitions. You should find a definition for yourself in a variety of fields and a variety of things, and basically everything you do. I believe you should find some way to grow consistently, regardless of what that means. For me, that's the gym, that's with talking, that's with 1,000 different things. But yeah, growth, whatever that means for you, just really try to emulate that in all that you do. People have been saying you should LARP things, but LARP good things. I would add LARP good things, okay? LARP JoJo, so that you start watching it, because that's some peak right there. No, but getting past my point, I'll probably try to upload after this and be a little bit more flavorful in my speech, be a little bit more funny, make jokes, see if I upload clips, try to be a funny guy. We got a funny guy over here. So yeah, as always, I love y'all livers. We'll see if I upload or not. You guys are great. Have a great day. Make sure to always love and respect yourself. I can never stress that enough, especially that respecting part. But yeah, no. Love y'all, livers. Have a great day, evening, or night, whatever time of day it is for you. You folks are awesome. Thank you very much. And I will see you around next time.